Hello guys, kindly check this application out. When I say 2 and send, it gives the multiplication table for 2. Likewise, any number 7 gives the multiplication table for 7. In this video, we're going to develop this using React hooks and Redux. If you want to type along with me, kindly install the following: 1. npm install Redux, 2. npm install React Redux, and 3. npm install Redux DevTools extension. With all said and done, let's begin. And let's begin by creating 3 folders in our SRC folder. So let's create the first one and name it assets. Then create another folder and name it components. And create another one and name it Redux. Good. Now let's take the first one, assets. Now with assets, let's create a folder and call it header image. Good. So we need a picture in the header image. So how to do that? I downloaded the header image from the internet. I'm going to copy that and take it to the folder that I'm working in. So we go to the folder, my root folder, allocate the SRC, allocate the assets folder, then allocate the header image, and I paste it here. Great. So let's go back. Now our header image is ready. We can check it out. Good. So that is that for the assets. We can close it. Now next one is components. Now with components, let's create a folder and call it mult folder. Now in our mult folder, let's create a file and call it mult.js. Good. Now with our boilerplate, instead of ordinary div, why don't we make it React.fragment? Then inside that we can say h2 tag and say hello. Now we link that to app.js to view on the screen. So over here we say mult. Good. Now let's import mult. We say import mult from where? Components, then mult. Good. Now let's check our screen to see if it's ready. Good. Hello is on the screen, so it means we're ready to go. Now let's begin. So we can close our app.js and go to our mult.js. Now to begin with, let's look at the structure of the application. So over here, we're going to build a card, something like this, then give it a header, something like this, then give it a body. Let's give it a body, something like this. Good. And inside the body, we need an input field with a button. Okay. So you enter the number and you click. You can have the table. Lastly, in the footer, we have the table that will display the multiplication. So something like this. Good. Yeah, so that is that. So next is the page setup. The page setup, I want to work in the middle region. So since Bootstrap has 12 columns, let's make the first 4 empty so we can have access to the middle region. So something like that, we can have 4, 4, 4. So we're going to work in this region. So that is that. Let's get started. To begin with, let's create a div. Give it a class name and call it row. So inside the row, let's create another div. Give it a class name and call it call md4. Okay, now let's copy that so that we can work in the second one. Good. So this takes one to the middle region. So we say inside that, let's create a card. So we say div, give the class name and call it card. Now in the card, what do we need? We need the header, body, and footer. So we say div, give the class name and call it card header. So we copy that 2 more times for the body and footer. So we say here we can say body, and here we can say footer. Now let's take the first one, header. So we say header. Sorry, header. Now to work in the header, what do we need? We need an image. So what's the tag for image? img, and inside that we can have our src equals, let's call it header image, and our alt, we can call that to header image. So that is that for the image. Let's import the image. So we say import header image. Good. From where? From assets. Good. Header image. Then what the name of the image is? img5. Good. So we say img5 .jpg. So that is that. Let's check the screen to see if our image is there. Great, we have our image ready. So now down with the header. So now let's go to the body. So down with the header. Let's come to the body. So body. Now with the body, what do we need? We need a form. So we say form. Now inside the form we need 2 inputs. So let's create a div for them. Say div class name equals form group. So let's copy that twice. Good. So one for the input and one for the button. So let's give the input. So we say input. Good. And in the input, what do we need? We need a type. Good. Type, which is what? Number. Then we need a placeholder that will say enter your number. Then a class name. Also from control. So that is that for the input. And let's go to the button. Now with the button too, we give it an input. Good. With the type, let's call it submit. Then we give it a value, call it send. Then class name from true. Good. Now let's check the screen to see how it's doing. Great. Our form 2 is ready. Now the next thing is to do, you want to make the form inline so that the number input will be adjacent to the button. So we go back, go to the form, good, and we give it a class name, then we call it form inline. Okay, let's go check it out. Great. So that is that with the body. Now next thing to do is the footer. To the footer, let's go back there. So we say footer region, footer section, footer section. Now with the footer, what do we need? We need a table. So we say table, the class name. Let's give the table class table. Good. So that is that. Now inside the table, we need a T head. Good. And inside the T head, we need T row. T row. Okay. Then inside the T row, we need T H. Inside the TH, let's give the first one number. Good. Let's copy that 3 times. Good. Then the second one, we give it and make it caps times. The next one, multiplier. Good. The next one, result. So the first one, number, let's make it capitals. Number. Good. That is that. Let's check the screen to see how it's doing. Great. Now let's make it beautiful a little. So to do that, let's make everything bold. So to make everything bold, we need to give it a class name. So we say class name equals font weight bold. So we copy that. Okay, let's go. Good. So that is that. Let's make the font to bold. Good. So good. Good. And the header, okay, there's no text. Good. Let's check it out again. Great. Form is looking good. Now let's give it some background color to the table. So we go to the T head and we say class name equals BG dark. Then text. Give it white. Let's check it out. Good, great. Now next thing to do is to send out everything. So let's send out the form, then next we send out the image too. So let's do that. Let's send out the table too. So we say test send out. Let's go to the card. Then we can say test send out. Then let's go to the form. Good. We can say justify content center. Good, that should center. Everything is centered now. So next is to add some colors to it. So let's go to our CSS. Good. And give our header header background color. Let's give it a background color of hash D9E9EP. Great. So next is the body. Let's copy that. Okay, we'll make it card body. Give it a background color of hash 2B3738. Yeah, that is that. And the next one is the button. The button too, let's call it BTN send. So let's give it a background color of hash 6D0303. Okay, let's check it out. Let's give it a text color of white smoke, then border now. So that is that. Now let's link the BTN send to the button. So we go there and we go to the button, then we add the class name. We say BTN send. Okay, so that is that. Let's check the screen to see how it's doing. Great. So the next thing is to do now is to bind the input field and the send button. So let's go to our mod, then we give it a state. So to do that, let's call import useState. We say useState. Good. So our useState is ready. Let's give it a state now. We say let what number, comma, set number be equal to useState into bracket. Let's call it num and give it an empty string. Good. So our state is ready. Now our state is ready. Let's give our input field also a name. So we give it a name and call it num. Num. Okay, num. Let's give it a value. Call it number dot num. And we give it an unchange and call it handle change. So we need to create a function for handle change. Good. Let's go. So bind input. Good. So we say let handle change equal to a function. Good. When the event is being called, it should give us set number into bracket what? Give us the number back. Then we give the event dot target dot name a value event dot target dot value. So that is that for the binding of the input. Now to check it out, we can use a pre-tag and call JSON. So we say pre-tag. Inside a pre-tag, let's call JSON. So we say JSON dot stringify. Sorry. So stringify into brackets number. So let's check our screen. Wait, we have num here. So anything I tap to appear in the num. So let's try it and see. So let's try 2, 4. You can see it appears in the num. So it means our input is working now. So next thing to do now is to bind the submit button. So to do that, we go to the form and add an on submit to it. Form. Good. Over here we say on submit equals, let's call it handle submit. So we need to create a function for handle submit. So let's go back and we say bind form. So we say let handle submit be equal to a function. Good. The event, let's prevent default. So event of prevent default. Good. So that it wouldn't rerun. So to test it out, let's give it an alert. So we say alert number. Good. Let's go check it out. Go to the screen. Let's type anything. 3. Good. See that it alerts the number. So that is that our input field is working. Thank you guys for sticking through. Don't forget to do good. Catch you in the next video for Redux.